so far, so it's adding another 0.75% on the session. And we've got Beyond Meat up 2.25%, but it's still down about 14% year to date. From burgers to subs, sandwich shop Jersey Mike's has an unbelievably ambitious plan to expand from wherever it is right now. It's way beyond the.
You do you, and we'll help build your credit at fingerhut.com.
Fingerhut credit accounts are issued by WebBank, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. HepBee makes the first wearable device that lets you choose your mood. And with me is the CEO, Jonas Stern, to explain how this, first of all, let's just see it, okay? So I'll hold it up, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in depth, but let's talk about the wellness market in general. How big is the wellness market?
The wellness market is immense. It's almost $5 trillion, and it breaks down into a bunch of different categories. Wearables alone are almost $100 billion.
And they're becoming more popular. People are getting used to wearables.
You know, the thing about wearables, which is we find so compelling, is the vast majority, 95% of wearables on the market, are basically monitors, right? So you think about Whoop, and you think about Fitbit or Garmin or the Apple Watch. They're basically monitors that are giving you back feedback, biofeedback about how your body's doing, how many REM cycles you do, or what your heart rate is. They're precious few that actually do something for you. So this is just, most of the wearables are reading things. We're the other side of the coin where we actually help you optimize your wellness. Okay, so you have to tell me, how does this work? So I tried it, and we'll talk about that in a second. I put it around my neck and wore it for the hour that you're supposed to wear it. So how does it work? So basically, and I'm not a scientist, but what I can explain to you basically is every compound that we ingest, think coffee, think nicotine, think CBD. Every one of those compounds is made up of molecules. Every one of those molecules has a unique digital signature. That's what the scientists figured out. If you will, they sing a little song. And the song that they sing is received or heard by the bioreceptors in your cells. And I know that sounds really weird, but if I would have told you 5 years ago that you could charge a phone without plugging it in, would you believe me? Or that you could broadcast a signal without wires? Your body works on signals exactly the same way. And when these compounds are present and they sing their little song to your brain or to cells in your body, they know it's present. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna tell you my story. So I had a long list of things to do on Sunday. I had to write a speech, I had to do a proposal, I had to get my work done for Monday. There was like 4 kind of big things I had to do. Very unmotivated. I was like, I'm just gonna try this. I put it on, I did the email mastery because I knew we were doing the interview, and I got done with everything early. Okay, so I don't know like if this is a psychological thing or what, but I wanna give it a few more tries. But the number one use, so you just nailed the number 2 use for the product, which is focus. Okay. Focus and attention. If you think about the things that you would otherwise need to do to gain focus or attention, drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, take a pill of some sort, all of those things are attached with all kinds of negative side effects. You don't want to be doing that to your body. You can just simply play the blend that gives you the same effect without any side effects, and that's the beauty of the product. The number 1 use of the product is sleep. Sleep, okay. 60%, yeah, 60% of Americans can't sleep at night. They either can't fall asleep or they can't stay asleep. That was my problem. And the reason I got involved with the product And with the company is I tried it. And I slept like a baby.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to try that one too, because there was creativity in the email mastery that I did, and the sleep and like meditation, and there were quite a few different applications on there. How do you monetize this technology?
Well, it's kind of like a two-step. We sell the device. So the device basically is a delivery mechanism for the blends. That's the content. And then we charge a subscription fee. If you want access, right now we've got 25 blends. Like you said, they're all lifestyle blends, relax, do work, be focused. And if you want access to all of them, there's a subscription. But 2 blends come bundled with the device.
And what is your sales strategy?
A variety of different distribution. We have a big direct-to-consumer strategy. To date, all of our growth, and again, extremely compelling for me coming in as the CEO, has been word of mouth. People who use the product come back to us and they tell their friends that it has effectively changed their lives. They're more focused, they're able to control their sleep patterns. We work with professional athletes, with entertainers, with people in business. They're our best salespeople. But as we look to scale the business, a comprehensive direct-to-consumer strategy, a strategy where we're going to be having the product fulfilled through third-party retail. And a lot of people are now starting to create blends of their own. Think Spotify for moods. They're starting to create blends on our platform, and they're bringing their followers to the platform.
Oh, interesting. Well, I did tell some people about it, and I promised I would try it a couple more times before I, just make sure it wasn't some kind of weird thing. But I tell you, I mean, it really did. I was done earlier than I ever have been with all that work I had to do. What about your gross margins on sales?
Gross margins are strong, about 70% on the product itself, which gives us lots of latitude to participate with third parties where we can share some of the revenue. And then, of course, the SaaS or subscription, that's a nice high margin business. So those two things together, really are the undercurrents of a business model that can scale quite profitably.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'll keep you up to date on my other experiences with it.
Appreciate it.
Jonah. HeliosDX is a high-complexity laboratory drug testing business that has some services that are unique in this industry. So with me is the CEO, Ashley Sweat, and then also the COO, Jan Gervil-Riach. So great to see you guys.
Great to see you, Jen.
Yes.
Good to be here.
So Ashley, just give me a quick overview of the company and then talk about your 15-month plan, because you're really starting to implement that, right?
Sure. So, HeliosDX is a high complexity laboratory, as you mentioned. We're really branding ourselves as a national alternative to some of the other big box laboratories. We're focused on infectious disease, toxicology, mental health, allergies, or some of the testing that we provide today. So recently, to your question, we rolled out a 15-month roadmap. Very detailed of kind of what's going to happen between now until the end of 2022. Part of that is talking about the acquisition coming up that we have through our Reg A, which is at the foremost priority right now. It's closing on that acquisition so that we go from a $6 million company to a $15+ million company. But some of the things that are really important as we move forward to that acquisition and through the acquisition are things that Jan's working on. He'll talk about it in a little bit, like our infrastructure, our systems, bringing in artificial intelligence, which we've already done through a company called Arcstone Medical, which is really going to help in patient care. And so that's a little bit about the 15-month plan. It's very detailed, but probably not enough to go into right now.
Well, you gave me kind of the 30,000-foot view, so that's good. So, Jan, provide your perspective on the execution of this plan.
Thank you for the question, Jane. So really, I have to give credit to Ashley for having created a foundation, right? A great foundation that we can roll with and grow. He's taken a regional laboratory and he's created a national brand around that. So as a COO, I'm coming in to basically help catapult that up to reach our targets of a 50 million, revenue company.
So where do you see yourself spending the most time in executing this plan?
So there are a lot of aspects around that. Marketing, sales, our operations, both with the billing company as well as with our laboratory. So it's really some of the platforms that Ashley has initially put into place, expanding those, making sure that our processes are good. And then we have to deal a lot with compliance, so making sure that we're compliant across the board.
Okay, so, and I'm sure that will be a challenge for nothing else, just, keeping on top of all of that. What do you see as some of the challenges with this? And
so think of it's like a big ship that you're trying to navigate some pretty treacherous waters, right? And the compliance component of that is a big piece of it, not only with the laboratory regulations, but also with SEC and the financial side of that as well. So making sure that we're staying straight, keeping our integrity to provide the best service to our patients. And then it's really like growing the company and focusing on the patient, right? With the different AI applications that Ashley and we have brought into the company to really grow that and focus on that more. It's speed. It's trying to get the process quick and get the patient the results that they need.
Yeah, okay. And then finally, Ashley, any other insight you have as you implement this? You talked about AI. Tell me a little bit more about where you want to be at the end of 2022.
Well, as we work towards 2022, I think it's important for me to say it's paramount that we stay focused on our core business, and not lose sight of that. Yes, we have acquisition. Yes, we're raising capital. In the 15-month plan, we talked about the Helios spinoff out of RushNet. We currently trade under RushNet, RSHN. Next summer, Helios will spin out of that and become its own separate standalone company and its own ticker. So, the main thing we have to do right now is execute the core, grow the business, not lose sight of that. It would be very easy with all the things we have going on through AI, we're introducing a health wallet, which actually that's the first time I've announced that. So we're introducing
breaking a little
new technology for us and for our doctors and patients with health wallet. So again, as we bring all this stuff moving forward through the end of 2022, it is paramount that we focus on the core, grow the business. We can't lose sight of that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Ashley and Jan, for coming. Best of luck.
Thanks for your time.
Need hearing aids? Tired of paying $5,000 or more? Tired of making multiple trips to have your hearing aids adjusted? Now you don't have to. Our Hear IQ 4 medical grade hearing aids are fully rechargeable, Bluetooth compatible, and start at under $1,000 for a complete set or monthly payments of $44. Our hearing aids are self-adjusting using any smartphone and features remote programming by hearing care professionals without you ever leaving home. Order your pair today at myheariq.com.
B2 Digital is a premier development league for mixed martial arts. So the company operates in two major branded segments, the B2 Fighting Series and the One More Gym official B2 Training Facilities Network. And with me is CEO Greg Bell. Greg, welcome. And give us, for those who didn't see the first interview, just give us an overview of what the company does.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having us, Jane. It's always nice to see you for a second interview. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this. So yeah, for those of you who don't know much about our company, we operate really doing three things. I'm a believer in never trying to do more than three things at once, so that's a lot. But the first thing we're doing as a company is we're building basically the minor league or the development league for the big mixed martial arts industry. Obviously, the UFC is the big major league. What we're doing is building the feeder system or the development league, much like the NBA has their own NBA development league. What we have is the first thing we're doing is we're building that minor league, should we say, or the feeder league. But so what that is we have live events that are mixed martial arts fights, and then the second thing we're doing is we're building the One More Gym brand or training facilities to take advantage of the everyone wants to be healthy post-COVID movement, and then our fighters are being trained there, but also they're all for the public. So actually, you can go and join a gym and actually train right next to the fighters. So it's worked quite well. And then the third thing we're doing, we have our own production company where we produce all our own content, the live fights, and then we're just getting into producing other events, and we digitally distribute that ourselves and collect money out on paper. So the three revenue streams are basically live event tickets for the events, 2 subscriptions for the gyms, and then 3 pay-per-view and selling our content that we own.
Okay. And I love the 3 things at a time rule. Like I'm going to follow that. I think that's very good advice for business. Can you give us an update on the live fighting business? How are you progressing with that?
Yeah, sure. It's actually been quite exciting. We've had some of our fighters go up to the UFC and have been fighting in the UFC. So this is all about the fighters to us. So to give the shareholders an update, we've been able to, our revenue streams is like we said before, is 1 is the live tickets. And then 2, we take a cut of food and beverage in the stadiums and the places we operate. And then 3 is our pay-per-view business. So we've had a really good run. We kind of do it summer, fall, and then spring. But so the good news out of all that is we literally have 50 fights planned for the next 60 weeks. And so that business is operating very well. We're making money at each one of the shows, and our revenue is increasing. So it's kind of an exciting story. So if you look at, we're now literally have 50 fights planned in the next 60 weeks. What's nice about that from our business is we're getting pretty good at predicting exactly what it is. So we know that in that business, we're going to do 1,000 fans, and that's 35,000. 1,000 fans times $35 average tickets, 35,000. We're going to do 5,000 to 10,000 in food and beverage, and then we're going to do 10 to 20 in pay-per-view. So if you kind of net that out to 50,000 times 50, you guys can do the math. We got a $2.5–3 million business there in the next round of 12 months just in our fight group.
And people are so hungry for live events too. So I think that's, important space to be.
Well, yeah, we're also, Jay, that's you're hitting the nail right on the head, as I say. So back to my, hit the nail on the head and only do 3 things at once rule. So anyhow, what we're finding is obviously with COVID, which was a disaster, everything. The good news to the shareholders in the last 90 days, you've seen very little impact, from the virus in our live event business. We're having sellout crowds, and so the people there's 2 things we're capitalized. One is the pent-up demand for everybody's been locked up. They all want to go do something. But the second thing that is more important is the mixed martial arts major leagues, the UFC, for example. They're spending a ton of money to educate and create MMA fans, but they're in the NFL cities. We're not in the NFL cities. We don't go to Atlanta. We're in Birmingham, Alabama, 90 miles away. So we're capitalizing on those fans, and they're showing up in droves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And speaking of pandemic impact, gyms hugely impact. My husband has a gym here in New York, so I know this firsthand. Where does that stand? How are you progressing with the gym part of the company?
Well, interestingly enough, our gyms are growing. We're growing. So we now have 5 gyms, and our organic growth in our gyms is going about 20 to 30% a quarter in revenue. And what that comes from is 2 things. Is the one thing that everybody in this world right now wants to be is healthy. Right. And so that we've been able to accomplish, getting a really high-end fitness facility. But what happens is we build those gyms out, and then we add the fighters. And then, like, for example, at the fights, we have a booth that says, come join One More Gym and be healthy. So that cross-marketing is working very, very well. But our gym business is growing 20 to 30% quarter to quarter.
Okay. Thank you so much, Greg. Fascinating. And I look forward to bringing you back when you can talk publicly about the acquisitions.
Yeah, that'd be great, Jay. It's always nice to see you.
Thanks, you too. Secure is a secure email system, and it comes to us from GlobeX Data, and the CEO, Alon Gahi, is here to give us an update on Secure. And Alon, you have had quite a year so far. Bring us up to date on where Secure is in the company as well.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for watching us. Basically, GlobeX Data, which is our public company traded under ticker SWISF, is a creator of an application called Secure, spelled S-E-K-U-R. We have an email and a messenger application. We also have an application called Secure Suite, which is for larger businesses. It's a document management, file share, password manager as well. We're actually doing a lot of upgrade on that one by Q1 of next year, because we identified that now people are looking at securing and backing up their data in the cloud in companies that are not necessarily, the Google and the Microsofts of the world, because those are obviously, data mined all the time. So right now what we're doing is we launched around mid-July in the US with great success. We had an amazing quarter, very happy. We really feel strongly that we can deliver double-digit growth every quarter over quarter for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So that's big. And the email application is actually interesting because we have certain feature. First of all, we host everything in Switzerland, which has the highest data privacy laws in the world. We have also our own platform. So we don't host on big tech like Amazon Web Service, Google, Microsoft, and all that. And we also don't use open source coding. So the service is extremely secure and very private because we don't data mine you. So Secure Messenger is doing well. We're improving some of the stuff because you can message someone that doesn't have Secure right now if you email someone, but we're going to add chat by invite with text. So that's going to be great. You can text anyone and say, hey, click here and you can chat with me. They don't need to buy the app. And the Secure email is going through a revamp where we're going to launch our email application in Q1. And that'll be a game changer because our application, our service, if you use webmail, you can use a service called Secure Send, which lets you send an email to anybody in the world without anybody on the internet being able to phish and hack it. But unfortunately, people don't know how to configure their email all the time. They don't want to use webmail. So this email application is going to take us from 0 to a million, really, because it's going to make it so easy. It's like downloading Gmail, but now you're going to download Secure Mail.
Okay. So I'm sure people, they're listening to this and they're like, that sounds really good, especially with all the hacks we've heard. What's the process for somebody to get on the secure email?
So all they have to do is go to secure.com, that's SEKUR.com, go to pricing, and you have two choices today. You have the messenger or the secure, which gives you the messenger as well. Interestingly enough, we are launching email only, probably in November, and the application for it on your phone, probably in January, February. So you'll have Secure Mail. So go to Secure, buy it for $10 a month or $100 a year. We give a free trial. Once you register and everything, then you can download on iOS or Android. You go to Secure Communications and you can download the application. And that's it. And we have a ton of video tutorial on our website. If you go to support, a video tutorial. Super easy to do.
Thank you so much. I look forward to getting an update soon.
Thank you, Jane, and thanks everyone for watching us.
The Paypolitan platform will use blockchain technology, smart contracts, and open banking APIs to provide a next-gen billing solution that meets the needs of modern payment systems for businesses and customers. With me is CEO Nils Thuran-Ortiz. Nils, great to see you again.
Hello, Jane. Thank you for having me again.
So tell us more about Paypolitan for our audience who may not have seen some of the previous interviews.
Right. So in a nutshell, Paypolitan is a payment app. It's, I would say, half Apple Pay, half MetaMask. You can connect your existing wallets and do crypto payment that you can download for free from Apple and Google Play. And you simply connect your existing wallets or bank accounts. For the time being, you can use it for crypto payments. And by end of the year, we will also add the cash payments. So you can simply use your smartphone, but there is no credit card in our system. So it's only debiting your existing bank account or your existing wallet. And last but not least, let's say you want to buy a laptop that's $500. You say maybe that's a bit a lot just before Christmas, or right now, like Monday, you still want to keep some funds, and then you can purchase this with the instant credit, which we're implementing right now.
Yeah. So, and how many people do you have working for you now? I know you've got different offices globally. You've had some pretty good growth lately, right?
That is correct. So we had a tremendous growth. A year ago, we were 5 people at Paypolitan. And right now, a year later, we're 95 people working at Paypolitan already. So that is a very steep growth. And we're very proud as a startup. There's also creating some obstacles and challenges in terms of management. I have to say, so we're still a startup, but now we also have to structure certain procedures in order to manage so many people.
Yeah. So where are you now?
Right now, I'm here in Kiev at our premises. We have here with our IT team, we have 15 developers in Ukraine working for Paypolitan.
And then what about the sales team? So are they spread out? How are they doing?
We spoke in August. I was training the first 12 sales agents, and I was just back to Kosovo before last week, and I trained another 40 operators. So right now we have a team of over 50 agents in our sales team. They are distributing our app, of course, to users, and also selling the EPAN token to investors. So there also we have a very strong growth.
Right. Very interesting. Well, it's, as always, interesting times in this industry. So thank you so much, Nils, for coming, updating us, and giving us your perspective on what's going on in the cryptocurrency markets right now.
Thank you very much, Jane, and glad to see you back on NASDAQ.
Yeah, it's great to be back, and look forward to having you here in the studio.
I go way beyond the headlines. I dig in very, very deep, and I'm looking for those kernels of information that often go unreported, but mean everything for the viewer. It's all about investing in your future, your American dream.
Fox Business, invested in you.
My name is Tom Jones. I'm a professional athlete.